This is Jace Tingler, manager of the San Diego Padres, saying that starters are probably not going to have a lot of wiggle room to work out of jams depending on where our bullpen situation is. In general, when we're fresh, we're going to go as long as we can, as hard as we can, and be ready for the next guy up. Now, Al Leiter, as a former starting pitcher, perhaps rooted, let's be fair, rooted in the orthodoxy, right?
True.
Meaning, right,
yeah,
ride your horse, go 7, go 8, that sort of thing. How different do you think this season will be? How much would you change?
So I think it has to be different because we are in a sprint. It's not a marathon. You can't, I have two hats here, and I'm going to try to play the coach slash front office slash manager. But, I'm reading a lot of quotes and hearing a lot of these guys getting ready for the season, that they're ready for a 100-pitch first start, right? So the biggest concern for these organizations is saying, okay, I have 12 starts. Pick your guy, Garrett Cole, Jacob deGrom, whoever it is. I have to make sure if we have a shot within the last 2-3 weeks, because I got to believe because of this, BK, and I think we all the consensus is that it's going to be a game or 2 or 3 of make it or not making the playoffs. Right. And I believe that the great majority of Major League Baseball has got a shot of making that last spot. There's going to be a couple that'll fall off, but you're going to see teams 32, 33, 34 in it, right? So slightly over 500. I have to make sure that my guys do not have a hiccup anywhere. So in order to do that, I know the difference between throwing in these exhibition games or sim games or whatever they want to call them, that when I'm out of the chute on July 24th and even my next start, I cannot have a hiccup in late August, early September, especially for my front guys, because I have a list of guys, and San Diego is a good example. Kirby Yates was, arguably the numbers-wise best reliever. They've got nice depth there. So how much of a leash do you give your starters? Every single game now counts as, 2.6, 2.7 games per, right? I mean, we're at 60. You double it, almost triple it to 180. So we're looking at every single start has the value of about 2.6, 2.7. Well, you got to do it the same thing. Justin Verlander on the mound, he's not going 33, 34 starts or 30, 31, 32. So now when he goes out and on the bump, the starting pitcher, whoever it is, I have to value that this is so much exponentially greater, the importance of it, because 30, 31, 32, 33 wins is going to most likely either be a playoff team or you're going to be on it. So I'm going to pull them back. But the long answer of this is, BK, Justin, I hear you want to go 100 plus pitches your first outing. Depending upon how the game is playing out, stress pitches, etc., I'm going to probably pull him back 10, 15% of the pitches.
Early on?
Yes.
Even your big guys?
Yes. Okay. And another part of this equation that we haven't brought up is first 15 days, you're going to have a 30-man roster. After 15 days, you're going to go to 28. After 30 days, you're going to go to 26. I don't know about you. With the fact that you have a DH, you're not going to be double switching and all that other stuff that goes on in the National League.
Load up on pitching.
Load up on pitching.
Yeah.
You'll have 14, 15 pitchers, right? So, there's going to be, a good 11, 12 pitchers in the pen. That option. And please, if you're an organization that does that, do not just have an arm down there just to sit there and watch a game with nobody in the stands. Make sure they get work, because it's really futile if you're not getting a guy in there to get some work.
Would you, back end of most teams anyway, actually probably just about everybody, back end of the rotation, how much do you like either bullpenning or tandem starts? Meaning, I've got kind of my 5 and 6 pitcher here. You guys are both going 3 1/3 or whatever it would be. Do you like that, or do you like, hey, let's just get a starter and then I'm bullpenning?
You know how I feel about the bullpenning. I give me a starter. If I have a short leash on starting pitcher number 5, it's in my mind. Every manager who goes out here, I know flip the lineup 3 times is not probable.
But do you like the tandem start or bullpen? I mean, they're kind of two separate things. They're not that drastically different, but a lot of teams have started to use that term, saying, I've got, like in the minors, I got 2 guys basically going some length here. Do you like that, or you're not crazy about it?
I like that better than a bullpenning. If you're going to tell me you're going to bring in the 8th inning guy to start the first inning because my starting pitcher has the jitters and I'm trying to get 1, 2, 3 in the lineup because I don't trust that my number 4 or 5 starter can't get the first 3 batters out in the first inning, well, then he shouldn't be on the mound. But I do like the tandem idea. If the schedule permits, and there's I forget how many off days we're going to have. Was it 6 or 7 or something? But if it permits where there's going to be an extra day, because there's going to be some starters starting pitchers, Tyler Glasnow, by the way. Is that Glasnow?
Yeah, that's Glasnow.
Boy,
yeah. And this is his first day back because he tested positive. He's back for the Rays today.
Fantastic curveball. I mean, boy, going down there to Tampa Bay there.
I think he grew, too. He looks like 6'11" now.
He's one of those guys, BK, when you watch him, it's impressive. I'm not saying that major leaguers aren't, but the ball just explodes out of his hand. Big 12-6 curveball. So this is a good example, right? He had the COVID. He's coming back his first outing. You're not going to pitch him 100 pitches. No chance. So he might be a perfect example of a guy that could be a number 2 or 3 in a rotation that I'm going to throw him 60 pitches in his first outing. And maybe I piggyback with Chirinos or somebody else and then go to my strong bullpen. Tampa Bay's got a strong bullpen as well. I like those guys, the arms coming out of there.
Let me ask you this as we're looking at the Rays, and you're right, that's Tyler Glasnow out there right now. I've heard different teams that are equipped for this, like the Rays famously have a mindset for this.
Yeah.
Are there any other teams that are uniquely situated to benefit from this different season? You know, as opposed to, say, Nationals, who have the traditional starters, and they might be fine anyway, but a team that is equipped perfectly for this 60 games.
I think anybody who has a strong bullpen, and we could go down the list. I mean, the Yankees certainly pop out. I think the Brewers, their rotation is very short. You look at what the Braves, and certainly this club right here with the Rays, Nick Anderson coming over from the Marlins. The San Diego Padres. I think there's anybody who has a manager and the analytics that say, you have 5 guys down there that we really like, as opposed to 2 setup guys and a closer, and then maybe it gets a little iffy. Those teams really benefit from the sprint.
Right. It'll be fascinating early on. I like this. I mean, you got to come. You're right. You're
going to
right
love
out
this.
of the gate. Right. It's going to be on.
Yeah. You're going to see a lot of 3-inning starts.
All right.